Hey everyone, welcome to Miss LaCane's Kitchen. Today's learning challenge is going to be making your own bannock. So I'm going to show you how I make mine, and then you guys can try it at home. Make sure that you have mom and dad with you, but it's really easy and it's super tasty. And it's the same bannock that I make for you guys every year at track and field. So we're going to start with 3 cups of flour, just regular flour, nothing special. I've never used whole wheat. It's too chewy. I don't really love it. So you're going to make flour. You're going to add in about a teaspoon of salt, and I'm just guessing because that's pretty much what I do. Then a teaspoon of salt, and then you're going to add 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Powder is not the same as baking soda, so make sure you're using powder, or else it's not going to rise. It's going to make it taste weird. So make sure that you're using this baking powder. So I've already measured out 2.5. And then I'm just going to smush it around here. I'm going to grab a spatula. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a little bit of a well here. See, there's a well. Sorry guys, let me just pull some cookies out of the oven while I'm talking to you. So you want to make a well. That's really important. Whew. Gingerbread cookies. And we're gonna do things a little bit slow. So you're gonna make this well, and the first thing you're gonna do, so see there's kind of a hole in there, is you're gonna add a 1/4 tablespoon of melted fat. Now, I just use a block of margarine because that's what I had. But you can use whatever you want. You can use Crisco, you can use olive oil, you can use regular oil, butter. I just use whatever. So see, I've put it in there. I'm gonna mix that first a little bit. So I wanna still create that well. I'm gonna mix it up. And just kind of, it's starting to get a little bit, you know, crumbly in there. And then you're gonna slowly add 1.5 cups of water. So I'm gonna start to add my water here. I'm gonna make sure that this starts to get, you know, it's a little bit sticky. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Start to pull in stuff from the side, just using a spatula, not the spatula I went and got. Add a little bit more. And it's gonna be kind of sticky. The dough's gonna start to get sticky and a little bit harder to work with. And add a little bit more, finish it up, and stir it. Notice I have a big bowl. I always start the big bowl because if you don't, then you don't have a lot of room to mix. So there we go. Now I want to get all those little dry bits on the bottom and on the side, and you can see it's kind of a gross sticky dough. So what I'm going to do now is put a little bit of flour on my countertop, and I'm going to dump this over. And here's the key to bannock: do not over knead it. This is not a loaf of bread. We're not trying to build gluten. We're just trying to make sure that it's dry enough for us to handle. So I never turn it more than 10 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna add a little bit more flour because it's a bit sticky. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's all it needs. 10 times, plenty, okay? So I'm gonna put that on there, and then what I'm going to do is roll it out gently. Now you have choices here. So the first choice is that you could get a knife and just cut this into chunks and then form little circles. I like to roll it out gently. It's almost like making biscuits, really. And then I use a cookie cutter because I'm usually making 400 or 500 pieces when we do this for school. So I'm just gonna put a little flour on my rolling pin, roll it out, and I don't roll it too thin. I don't know, about a 1/4 of an inch. And then I use a cookie cutter. Now I do happen to have a nice size cookie cutter, but if you don't, a mason jar lid works great. So I am just going to go ahead and put a little flour on there, and I'm gonna cut it out. And it's gonna be a little wet and sticky. That's okay. And then I always put parchment paper on my cutting or on my mats. If you don't have that, that's okay. Parchment paper is like a baking paper. It just means I don't have to do anything to my trays. Ugh, a little bit gooey. And you can put them pretty tight on there. I'll show you when I'm done. So we cut them all out. Now, let's say you guys wanted to make a cinnamon. Remember last year I made cinnamon? Everybody loved the cinnamon. So take a tablespoon of cinnamon and add it to the flour and the baking soda, the dry ingredients, before you add the wet. And then you'll get a nice cinnamon one. I've also done this with berries, where just before I add the liquid, I add berries as well. That didn't seem to be as popular. I'm gonna be careful now because now I'm handling this dough a bit. So the other thing you could do is, if you were adventurous, you could fill a frying pan with a little bit of oil and pop these in. You're gonna get a very different finish for Bannock that way. The Bannock is actually gonna get a little poofier. So I might actually keep a couple of these guys out and maybe we'll fry them up. So this is what you're gonna end up with, Bannock. And you're gonna cook it for 20 to 25 minutes in a regular oven, or 17 minutes in a convection oven. So let's throw it in the convection oven right now. 350 degrees. I'm gonna set the timer for 17 minutes. And then I'm gonna get these ready and we're gonna fry up a couple and see what they look like. Okay, hang tight. Okay guys, this is what fry bread looks like when you fry it. So I just took a piece of Bannock and I just smushed it out. And you need to do this under parent supervision. This is oil. So I've just used probably a 1/4 cup of sunflower oil. You can use canola, but it's going to sizzle. Hear that? So we want to make sure that this is a moms and dads thing. So I just take the dough. It doesn't have to be pretty. I lay it down. Take my third piece. Lay it down. You don't want to have too much in the frying pan at once, or else what happens is the oil goes cold. And I got 2 more pieces after this to do. But you kind of let it cook. So hot oil, be very, very, very careful. So I'm just gonna let those guys fry up. So traditionally we wouldn't bake the Bannock, but what you guys could do, this is more traditionally, is to fry it. So it's called fry bread. But you can also take Bannock, and if you guys have a backyard fireplace or access to a fire pit, or you're going out to the lake or something, you can make the same Bannock and you wrap it around a stick like this, and you put that stick in the fire and it cooks. But you gotta cook it slower, or else the inside gets really, really doughy and it's kind of gross. And then it's really good with jam and butter. Okay, let's flip this over and see what happens. So this is my first one. Oh, you can see it's all golden and brown. Woo! You want to make these a little probably thinner than I did. Ooh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. So butter and jam are the way to go. Okay. Just waiting for those suckers to fry up, and then I'll show you what the inside of them looks like. And the other ones are in the oven right now. So when they're done in 9 minutes, we'll pop them out and take a look at how they're different. So I have mine about 6.5 out of a 10 on my stove. You don't need to deep fry them. You just need to cook them up. And I will warn you, this is the less healthy option. They do suck up quite a bit of oil. The baked ones don't use any oil at all. They're about the same for dryness. Okay. Let me check that sucker out. Oh no. See, this is what happens. So just a warning. If you make these, if you cook them up, ooh, that's hard to see. If you cook these up and you make them too thick, see how thick mine are? Then they become kind of raw in the middle. I'll show you what that looks like. Look. So outside cooked, inside still raw. So what I'm going to do with these guys is I'm going to smush them. And I'm being very careful as I smush not to let the oil splatter me. And I'm going to flip them one more time. Ooh, look how pretty that is. just so they cook up. And then what I'm gonna do with this one, this last one, is I'm gonna make it super thin. See how thin it is? Super thin. And you can see almost all the oil is gone now. So I'm gonna take these guys out and put them here for now. And I'm gonna make this guy super, super, super skinny. Throw them in there. Move the oil around a little bit. Whew. Probably skinnier is the way to go. All right, so here is what it looks like. It's super flaky and very yummy. Very yummy. All right, I'll show you what the baked ones look like in a few minutes. Okay, you guys. Oops, my camera's bouncing all over. Okay, you guys, welcome back. I'm going to show you the two finished products. So this is what the bannock looks like when it is baked. It is fluffy and light, and it looks kind of like a scone. Now, you guys would be familiar with this because these are the scones that I make, or the bannock that I make you. The inside looks very much like a scone. I'm gonna put a big slab of butter on there. I'm gonna pick a big slab of homemade Saskatoon berry jam. I'm gonna eat that up. That's good. Okay, especially hot out of the oven. All right, now, this is what the fried bannock looks like. So you can see it's got those nice golden marks. And when you open it up, it has that almost exact same inside, right? But I'm not gonna lie. This fried bannock, oh my God. There is something in the fried bannock, well, it's vegetable oil, that makes it incredible. I don't even have to I'm not even putting butter on it. I'm just gonna eat it raw. It is so tasty fried. I want you to choose the healthy option, I really do. But you gotta try this. All right, give bannock a try. Send me an email, let me know how it goes. Can't wait to hear from you.